What's the most insane thing a babysitter did while you were gone? My wife and I hadn't had a date night in over a year, so when my wife's coworker recommended her niece as a babysitter, we jumped at the chance. The girl was 19 and came with glowing references. We met her beforehand and she seemed perfect. We hired her for a Saturday night, just dinner and a movie, maybe 4 hours total. We showed her where everything was, wrote down emergency numbers, kissed the kids goodbye. My son Ethan waved at us from the window as we pulled out of the driveway. My daughter Mia was already showing the babysitter her stuffed animals. Everything felt normal. We drove to the restaurant feeling lighter than we had in months. About an hour into dinner, I noticed I had 3 missed calls from our home security system. I figured it was a glitch. Those motion sensors went off all the time when the kids ran around. I silenced my phone and went back to my pasta. That was the biggest mistake of my life. By the time we finished dinner, I had 11 missed calls. 3 from the security system, 5 from unknown numbers, and 3 from our neighbor. My stomach dropped as I listened to the first voicemail. It was our neighbor. Her voice panicked. I just saw someone loading your kids into a van in front of your house. I called 911. Where are you? I couldn't breathe. I tried calling the babysitter. No answer. I called our home phone. No answer. I called the neighbor back while my wife was already running to the car. She picked up on the first ring. The police are at your house. Get here now. I don't remember the drive home. I don't remember if I ran red lights or how fast I was going. I just remember pulling onto our street and seeing police cars, an ambulance, and our front door wide open. My wife was out of the car before I even stopped. I followed her, my legs barely working, my mind cycling through every worst-case scenario. An officer stopped us at the door. Are you the parents? Where are my children? My wife was screaming. Where are my kids? The officer walked us inside. The house was destroyed. Furniture overturned. TV missing. Drawers emptied onto the floor. And sitting on our couch, wrapped in a shock blanket, was the babysitter. She was crying, mascara running down her face. I'm so sorry, she kept saying. I didn't know they would do this. I grabbed her shoulders. Where are my kids? She flinched like I was going to hit her. They took them. I don't know where. My wife collapsed. Actually collapsed onto the floor. I felt like someone had reached into my chest and ripped out my heart. The detective pulled me aside while paramedics checked on my wife. The babysitter let 3 men into your house approximately 90 minutes ago. They loaded items into a van for about an hour, then left with both children. We have an Amber Alert active. I couldn't process the words. She let them in? She claims she met someone online 2 weeks ago. He convinced her this was a prank for a fake TV show. Said they would pretend to rob the house, scare the kids a little, and everyone would get paid. She says she didn't know they were going to actually take anything or anyone. I wanted to kill her. I wanted to wrap my hands around her throat and squeeze until she stopped breathing. My children were gone because this girl was stupid enough to believe strangers on the internet who told her a home invasion was a prank. The next 4 hours were the worst of my life. Police set up a command center in our living room. FBI arrived because it was a kidnapping. My wife was sedated because she couldn't stop hyperventilating. I sat in a chair staring at photos of my kids, Ethan with his gap-toothed smile, Mia with her curly hair, and wondered if I would ever see them again. The babysitter was taken in for questioning. She gave up everything. Her phone, her passwords, every message from the man who orchestrated this. His profile was fake. The photos were stolen from someone else's social media. He'd been planning this for weeks, specifically targeting babysitters in wealthy neighborhoods, grooming them with attention and promises of easy money. My children weren't the first he'd taken. There had been 2 others in different states. Neither had been found. At 3 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered anyway because I couldn't not answer. A man's voice said, if I wanted to see my children again, I would transfer $200,000 to an offshore account within 6 hours. He put Ethan on the phone. Daddy, I'm scared. I want to come home. I was sobbing, telling him I loved him, that Daddy was coming, when the line went dead. The FBI traced the call to a burner phone in a city 3 hours away. They dispatched a team immediately. I wasn't allowed to go. I had to sit in my destroyed living room and wait while strangers decided if my children would live or die. At 6:45 a.m., my phone rang again. This time it was the FBI agent leading the case. We found them. They're alive. They're okay. We're bringing them home. I don't remember what I said. I just remember falling to my knees and crying harder than I've ever cried in my life. The men who took them were part of a kidnapping ring that had been operating for 2 years. The babysitter's online boyfriend was the recruiter. He found vulnerable young women, convinced them to participate in what they thought were pranks, then used their access to steal children for ransom. Our kids were recovered from a basement 40 miles away. The babysitter was charged with conspiracy to commit kidnapping and served 4 years in prison. We moved to a different state, and I haven't trusted anyone outside of family to watch my children since.